In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a Google shopping campaign for your Shopify site from start to finish. That includes setting up a Google Merchant Center, pushing over your product data from Shopify into Google Merchant Center, and finally, setting up your Google Ads shopping campaign. Before you can start setting up Google Shopping, you need a Google Merchant Center account. To set one of these up, head over to merchants.google.com. And if you click Start Now in the top right-hand corner, it will take you through the process of setting up an account. Once you have set up an account, you need to then configure that account.
To access the settings, click on the Gear option in the top menu. Let's start with business information. In order to promote your items through Google Merchant Center, either through paid shopping or the free ads, you need to enter your business information. So you need to enter a display name, address, phone number, and also details for customer service. You need to have verified your website address. That is done by entering the URL here, and then you have to add a little bit of code to your website. And optionally, you can also add branding information, which is used in certain types of ads. It's always a good idea to give customers as much information about the purchase before they click through to your site. If they know, for example, what the shipping and return rates are before they get there, they will be more likely to convert. You could set the delivery and returns information under Settings and then Delivery and Returns. To add a service, click the Add Delivery Service button. Give the service a name, say Test, and then specify what countries it will apply to. So I'm going to select the United Kingdom and the currency and where you will be delivering to. In this case, the only option is customer's address, and then click Next. You just set a cutoff time, so let's take 9 o'clock in the morning. A time zone, just going to select a time zone, and then your delivery time, your order handling time, and your transit time. So I'm going to say between 1 and 5 days for each, and then Monday to Sunday. Now, there's a number of different ways for calculating the delivery cost. One is, for example, on your website, you'll have free delivery of a certain amount. Secondly, free delivery for all items. Third is a range base, so you have a price based on a certain order value. So you could say £10 up to £50, and then £20 up to £100, etc. Flat rate, that's just a flat rate fee for everything. Or if you have a carrier which integrates with Google Shopping, you can get the information straight from them. Now, if you want to do something more complicated by size and weight, you need to switch to advanced settings. And here you will add a rule, let's call it test 1. And then you add a delivery rate table. So I'm going to add the dimension, and that's going to be weight in kilos. And you would have a weight from 0 to 1 kilo. If you want to add another row, click up here to plus row, and you could say that's up to 1 kilo. So you could say from 1 to 2 kilos, and then add another rate, and then add another row, and you could say up to 3 kilos, or kilos even, and then £30. And then you need to add a catch-all rate, so that's 4 kilos and heavier. Let's do £40 for that. And then once you're done, you can click continue. And then you'll see a rate which is applied to all your products in your matching region. Now, if you're looking to do weight-based shipping pricing, you need to ensure that you submit the weight in the product feed. To add returns information to your Merchant Center account, click on the Returns option here under Settings and Delivery and Returns. And you need to set the policy by country. So here I've used a basket policy for lots of different countries. So let's just click on Default Policy. And you can see selected the countries, a link to the website that has the policy details and the number of days. Data which is imported into Google Merchant Center supports 2 programs, free listings and shopping ads. You need to make sure that they're both set up separately. So if we go to shopping ads setup, there's a number of settings which need to be set up before this will work. First is you need to set up your business information, need to set up whether your website contains adult content or not. Also, you need to confirm that you accepted the program policies. For free listing setup, if you click on free listings, again, you need to have provided business information and reviewed the program policies, and also have a payments page set. Account access can be specified under account access in the settings menu. So here you can add different users who have access to this account. In Google, there's the option to allow Google to automatically improve your product data. This is set under Settings and then Automatic Improvements. The 2 options are Automatic Updates and Image Improvements. This is if Google finds different information which is on your website to what's in your feed, you can specify that it will use the information from your website. So update prices, update availability, and update condition. Automatic image improvements it can improve the things like removing promotional overlays and images which are too small in order to make sure that your products don't get disqualified. Let's have a look at how this information is displayed. We've done a search for llama ride-on here. If we put our mouse over this advert, you can see at the bottom here, it's got the 30-day return policy. That comes from directly within the Google Merchant Center account. If we click on the shopping tab, we can see here again, it says free delivery for this product. That comes from Google Merchant Center. Also, if we go to the free shopping listings at the bottom, and we click on compare prices from 5 shops, the information with the item price and then the shipping price and this free returns information was all taken from Google Merchant Center.
Now you've got Google Merchant Center set up, you need to push your product data from Shopify into Google Merchant Center.
So when you've set up your account, go into your Shopify account and then go into sales channels and then Google and YouTube and then click on connect your Google account. So you need to then choose the email address which is connected to your Merchant Center, which is this one. Once that's connected, there's a few things you need to set. Within Shopify, you need a valid payment method, you need an online shop live, you need to add a refund policy and terms of service, and then you need to confirm that there's contact details on your online shop. So let's just confirm that. You can just select one of the merchant centers which is connected to that email address. There's 3 in this case, so I'm going to select the first one. Connect. Few settings. First one is product sync settings. Automatically sync your products. That's what I've got that set as. The other option is to manually sync them. Generally don't recommend that. Second, you've got target country and language. Check that's right. Shipping settings. This is set to, you can either set your shipping settings manually in Merchant Center, or you can get them pushed over from Shopify into Merchant Center, which is what's being selected here. Checkout link settings. That's include links to checkout and the product page. That's also recommended. Then conversion tracking, you want that set up so you can measure the effectiveness of your advertising. So products are going to go from Shopify into Merchant Center and then go into Google Ads. And you want to, when you start doing ads, you want to make sure that the conversions are being tracked so you can get better metrics. Finally, you need to click on terms and conditions. That's all been set up. Let's click on settings. Down here is product title preference. So this is the product title which gets fed into Google Shopping. So that if we do a search for iPhone, that is this title here. It's the title that gets used on your ad. So you can choose where that comes from. You can use the SEO title for your product title and also the SEO product description. So let's look at a product. Click on that product. There's a few things here. So you can choose whether this title here, the product title, or the SEO title, which is down here under search engine listing. If you click that, you can have a different page title. The page title is what appears on a website. So we look at the product, and this product, we've got the title, and then if we look at the code, we've got the page title. This is the bit that appears in the tab, and you can see it in the code. Here under title, now there's the title there. So you can choose which one of those gets fed over to Google Merchant Center. The other important things to do are the vendor. That's the brand. That's what is in the vendor will get fed over as the brand in Merchant Center, and also the product type. If we fill in the product type here, you want something for product type which is going to be descriptive of the product. So you probably want something, in this case, we probably want something like, gifts, card, gifts, baby shower, Merchant Center, something descriptive about the product. Other things which will get pushed over are the barcode or the EAN. It's also referred to the GTIN. It's always going to push over the price. Images, you want to have a number of good quality, closely cropped images of your product. The main product needs to be the so-called hero image that needs to be on a white background and closely cropped. So you want to have push over a full product description to Google. Again, you can choose whether to use the product description or the search engine description, which is in the meta description there, usually much shorter. Okay, so if we go back to sales channel and we go back to YouTube, if we go here and do manage products, we can see a spreadsheet which gives us the products which are being sent over to Google. Now, the things that we're most interested in are the product title. That's the title which is going to get pushed over. That's pulled from that field that we defined in the settings. Then we've got the barcode. The other important fields are the Google product category. Now, that is Google has a so-called product taxonomy where you get to know what the product title is. That's like a number. So if we do a search for Google product categories, give us a spreadsheet of the Google product categories. And if you download that list, it will give you a list of the categories, and you choose the number which is assigned to the category and put that in that field. So let's just put 1, 2, 3, 4 there, but you get that from the spreadsheet. Condition, you want to select the condition, that'll be probably new. On the right-hand side here, if you choose the columns, you can choose the columns you want. Now, depending on what your products are, you want to choose different products. If you have a apparel, you'll want to choose the size, but we've got, in this case, we've just got fairly standard products. So the things we want to fill in, make sure are filled in, are the description, and that either comes from the product description or the SEO description, depending on what has been selected. The product type, that's the product type field, which is from the product description. The vendor, that's what gets pushed over as the brand into Google Merchant Center, the barcode and the condition, and you also want the manufacturer's part number and the Google product category. So once that information has been filled in, it will be pushed over into Merchant Center and then into Google Shopping.
Now you've pushed your product data from Shopify into Google Merchant Center, you can create your Google Shopping campaign.
In this video, we're going to be discussing how to create Google Shopping campaigns. Within your Google account, click New Campaign on the top left-hand side. Click New Campaign. And then if you click Sales, because shopping ads are focused on sales, then you need to select your conversion goal. Now, this is set up in a separate part of the system, and we'll discuss that in another video. But in this case, it is the account default, which is purchases, and that is the conversion goal that we are tracking. If you're using a ROAS target, so you're basing your bidding on the value of the sales that you are making, then you need to set up your conversion tracking to track your purchase values. So there's two options here. So you can either click Shopping or Performance Max. Now, Performance Max is Google's highly automated shopping campaign settings. If we click on Shopping, we'll see that we also have the opportunity to create a Shopping Performance Max campaign. So we need to select the merchant center that we're going to advertise the products from. This is where Google pulls the product data from to create the ads. This needs to be set up separately, and we've discussed that in another video. We have a number of merchant centers here, and I'm going to click the top one there. And then we have the option here of either Performance Max Google Shopping campaign or a standard shopping campaign. Now you can see if you clicked on Performance Max at the top, then you will be automatically selecting that Performance Max type of campaign. So I'm just going to click on Shopping. Now the difference between Performance Max and standard shopping campaigns is the amount of control you have. Performance Max campaigns allow you to access a broader range of advertising imagery on Google Shopping. So alongside the Google Shopping ads, it will also do remarketing ads, and it'll also do text ads as well. It is highly automated. What you're really just doing is submitting a feed and choosing creating your ad groups, creating your audience signals, and then setting your advertising goals. You don't have any options for any kind of optimization other than location. You can choose obviously where you're advertising your products to. You can't choose negative keywords. You can't choose any kind of schedule. With a standard shopping campaign, you have much more control over targeting, and you have much more control over bidding. In my experience, Performance Max campaigns work really, really well, and they're much, much easier to set up. We're going to talk about setting up Performance Max campaigns and then standard shopping campaigns. You need to select a name. I'm going to call this Test PM for Performance Max. You need to create a budget for the amount you want to spend every day. Now, when you're starting off a campaign, I'd recommend not making this too high, because it could be that I find that Google will sometimes overspend in the first few days, and you don't want it to rush to spend through all your budget. So I'm going to start off with £10 a day. So that would be approximately £3 a month. And we have a choice on what we want to focus on. So we can choose conversions or conversion value. So if we choose conversions, then it'll optimize for the number of conversions it gets within that budget. And you can set a cost per conversion. So you could, it's a target CPA. It's recommending £6.30. So it'll try and optimize your bidding so that it achieves every sale costs you approximately £6.30. Or you can set a conversion value. So it'll optimize for conversion value. It'll try and get you as much dollar pound sales for your bidding. You can also set a target. So it allows you to set a ROAS target. That's return on advertising spend. And at the moment, it's recommending 500%. So that's saying you're going to sell 5 times as much as you spend on advertising. So for every dollar you spend, you'll get $5 in revenue. The next campaign setting is to location. So you need to select the location. Now, I very much recommend against selecting all countries and territories, because that means you'll just advertise the whole world and you'll get loads and loads of clicks from parts of the world you're unlikely to sell to. So you need to select locations where you have a feed and have optimized your website for that location. So I'm going to click United Kingdom here, and then select the language they speak in that location, which is English. If you click more settings at the bottom, you'll find a number of different options. So if the first one here is ad schedule, you can define certain times of the day that you want your ads to run and not to run. So here I've got it selling for all days, but you could just have it on certain days of the week. That might be good if you have a certain offer or something which is only running for a certain period of time. Start and end dates, you can set start and end dates, and then you have options to customize your URLs. I would generally recommend with the ad schedule just leaving it to run all the time. Google in the background with its machine learning will be advertising and will be bidding at the best times and with the best bid amount for your products. I know sometimes it can be a bit disconcerting leaving it all to Google, but generally works best. For Performance Max accounts, then you can set asset groups. Now, these are the assets which we use in your ad groups to advertise your products outside the shopping ads. Asset groups are assigned to a listing group. Now, a listing group is like a product group. It's a group of products which you could define by brand or you could define by category, and you will assign your asset group to that listing group. So we're going to give it the name Asset Group 1. We defined it here as this is an asset group which is being shown to all products, but we could select a selection of products here. So we're going to do by, say, brand. There's a list of the brand. I'm going to select the top brand there, which is 𝐲𝒗. So what that means is this asset group will only be shown for those products with that brand. So let's quickly go through the information you need to submit on your asset group. The final URL comes from your merchant center. You can add to 20 images which are used in Google remarketing ads. So here I've added a selection of images from our products. Logos, you can add up to 5 logos. You can add videos if you have it. Here you can add information to create text ads. So I've just, you can have up to 5 headlines, up to 5 long headlines, and you can have up to 3 descriptions. Your business name comes directly from Merchant Center. You can add site links, which are automatically generated by Google, and a call to action. So I've just selected Shop Now. Under more asset types, you can add more ad options. So for example, if you've got a promotion you want to add to the ad, or if you want to add a phone number, you can add this here. Since companies like Apple started focusing on the privacy of their users, companies like Facebook and Google haven't been able to track customers so well, and consequently, it takes their systems longer to learn about customer behavior. One way around this is to use an audience signal. Audience signals is information that the seller gives to Google to give more information about customers. So for example, you can give competitor sites, you can give customer data, which Google then match up with its databases, and it helps the system learn faster. Let's click on Add an Audience Signal. I'm just going to look at an audience signal I've created previously. So this is one called AT Audience. Let's just edit this. Within the audience signal, the information you can give to Google is divided up into several segments. The first is custom segments. Custom segments are customer segments which we've given to Google saying, Google, these are customers we think would be interested in our products. So we've created one here for competitor sites. That's a list of competitor sites, which I can now edit. Here, so we've got a list of competitor sites. This is intended for Austria, so they're Austrian sites. And we've also got a segment here which we've entered lists of interest of things that customers which we think people who are interested in these things will be interested in our products. You can upload your own data. So there's a number of things here. This is data which is collected from Google Ads. We've got data collected from Google Analytics and also a list of our Shopify customers. So what we've done here is we've uploaded a list of our Shopify customers into Google, and Google uses this information to help its algorithm learn. Finally, we have interests and demographics. Google has built-in interest groups, and you need to add these into your system. It makes suggestions here, so we can add, say, merchandise, baby products, baby clothing. And we're saying that these are things that customers who are interested in our products will be interested in. Finally, demographics. Here we can just add some demographic information. It's fairly broad, sex and age. You can also add as additional demographics. Well, unless you know an awful lot about your customers, it's going to be difficult to set these. Parental status, household income, all information to give to Google to help it learn. Gone through and set up all the information successfully. You have the chance to review your campaign before it is then launched, and you would then publish the campaign and it will appear in your campaign list. So under campaigns, we will be able to see our test campaign. We do filter for campaign name, and we say it contains test. There is our test Performance Max campaign. To create a standard shopping campaign, you need to go through the same process. Select your campaign type, i.e. shopping, your merchant center, but then select standard shopping campaigns. Need to give it a name, so let's call it test standard shopping. You have different bidding types here. So with Performance Max, you can either use a CPA, that's a cost per acquisition, or a return on advertising spend bid strategy. Here you have a number of different options. You can do the target ROAS like with Performance Max, or you can choose maximize clicks, so it'll give you the most clicks for your money, or you can do manual CPC. So you just set a maximum CPC. So let's choose manual CPC to be different. Here you have an option to enable enhanced CPC. What that means is you allow Google to overbid your manual CPC maximum if it thinks that you are going to get a conversion. Under that, you can optimize conversions or optimize the conversion value. Set a daily budget. Let's put in 10. You can have a campaign priority here, so you can have low, medium, or high priority. This enables you to advertise the same products in multiple campaigns, but have one campaign used over another. Here we have the option for which network. So this, you can choose whether or not to include your search partners. Devices, your ads will show on all devices by default, so you can't change that. Again, you have to choose your location. I recommend not choosing all countries and territories. Start and end date. Then you have you have to create an ad group to begin with. So creating a single ad group 1, and then your maximum CPC bids. So I'm going to bid 20p. Once you've created your campaign, you may want to do some tweaking. I'm going to look at the product groups here. So you can select what products you want to appear in this campaign. Let's add a subdivision. So you can break down the campaign by different types. So you could break it down by category, brand, item ID, condition, item type, etc. So if we only want to advertise a particular brand, let's select brand. And I'm going to select my brand here. And then you can choose whether you want to edit the bid or not. Let's do save. So this one here, you have it's broken up into these product groups. So we have a brand, and that's Aid and A, and then everything else. Now, if you want to only advertise Aid and A, you'd want to exclude this other product group, which is everything else. So that means that campaign will only do Aid and A products, and then you can also edit the bid at this stage. The other difference with standard shopping campaigns is you can add negative keywords. So we could here, if we decided that we didn't want this campaign to show for a particular other brand's keyword, so we could say muslins is another brand, then for it, that wouldn't show for those words, or we could do condition is used, or we could do review, and it'll exclude any searches which have those search terms in them. For standard shopping campaigns, you can look at the performance of audience segments, and as you get more data into the system, you could decide to bid differently for them. So for our add audience segments, we add them at the campaign level. It's a good idea to add them to begin with, select all, and do it as observation to begin with. So that means you can just see the performance of the different audience segments. And then maybe in future, if we see different performance on different audience segments, we can exclude them or we can change the bids. With devices, you can add a bid adjustment for different devices. So at the moment, it's bidding the same for everything. But if we found that computers did better than mobile phones, we could add a bid adjustment. So we could increase it by, say, 20%. But that means that it would bid more on computers than it did on mobile phones and tablets. So in summary, standard shopping campaigns give the advertiser much more control over the targeting of their ads, but are much more difficult to set up. Overall, I found that the more automated campaigns give as good as, if not better, performance.